see what y'all coming now. That is crazy. Nah, it's not letting nobody comment. I did not know YouTube did that. Huh? I'm sorry this Bible study is taking so long to start.
Wait, what happened? What the YouTube do?
Okay.
Let me try to turn that up slowly. Hold on.
Okay. Now I gotta get better. Everybody back in here. I had 19 views. That's okay though. God gonna bless me again. Alright, so we're gonna be at, I don't know if I can, cause I don't think it's gonna let me. Nah, cause it's gonna try to play the sound off from my live stream, and I don't want it to play the sound from the live stream, but I still want to be able to hear you.
Did you see my comment?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
So if you live stream as an audience for kids,
Oh no.
it can't comment. Good for future reference. Damn, 19 people popped in here, and I just lost all of them. That is hilarious. All right. That is hilarious. All right. All right, y'all. It's 8:11 Lucy, and we gonna tune in. I hope y'all see my comment. It's gonna be Psalms 62, verse 1. That's what we're gonna start. That's what we're gonna start with. If I can, I'll whip out my glasses because if I can see this Bible. So, as I remember, because I don't gotta look at it that much. As I remember on what they said, what's up, Ron Lee? You're 2 years old? That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. You're tuning into a Bible study. If you don't know what a Bible study is, it's the study of a Holy Bible, followed by Christians, Catholics, Baptists, etc. It's followed by a large group of people. I think about 60 to 80% of the world follows God and Jesus Christ. I mean, if you don't know what God and Jesus Christ is, you're going to learn a little bit about him today. Well, I hope you do, at least. Since you're 2 years old, you might not understand a lot of what I'm saying, but you might come back to it in the future and understand. So that's what we're going to tune into. So like I said, I'm personally reading right now the KJV version. If you don't know what KJV means, it means the King James version of the Bible. And the King James version of the Bible. And we're at Psalms chapter 62, verse 1. And it's a Psalm of David. And he said, "Truly my soul waiteth upon God, from him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense, and I shall not be greatly moved. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you, as a bowing wall shall ye be, and a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Selah. My soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectations is from him. He is only my rock and my salvation. He is my defense, and I shall not be greatly moved. When they're referencing to he, obviously, well, not obviously, because some people may not know. If you're new to the belief of God and the belief of Christ, they're referencing to God, the Father, and they're referencing to Him being their salvation and their rock. Salvation meaning blessings. Hello, blessings. Salvation meaning to when you need something, He shall provide it. Not when you want it, but when you need something. As a old, I believe it was a Native American quote, back long ago, the Native Americans used to say, we only give you what you need, not what you want. So, and that's the same way God is. If you need food, He shall provide food. If you need shelter, He shall provide shelter. If you need transportation, He shall provide transportation, water, etc., etc. He shall provide everything that you need in life. It's all about the stuff that you need. Ron, my favorite rapper, side note, my favorite rapper is J. Cole. J. Cole's my favorite. But back to the study. Just providing what you need and not what you want, because what you need will always be above what you want. And when they're referencing to Him being your rock, it's someone who's always going to be there. No matter what rocks you could take a rock all the way from the United States all the way to Australia, but that's still going to be the same rock, and it's not going to change. It's not going to change. That rock is still going to be the same. It's going to look the same. It doesn't matter whether it's fall, spring, summer, or winter. That rock is going to feel the same and be the same. It's always going to be the same for you, and that's how God is for you. He's never going to change up on you. The only person who can change in the relationship between you and God is yourself. So, as long as you have faith in God, He's not going to change up on you. And even if you don't have faith in God, if you stop talking to God for months on end, His love for you still isn't going to change. So as long as you're looking to God and worshiping God and giving Him just a little bit of your time, He's gonna double that for you every time. So, like I said, just giving Him a little bit of your time, actually allowing Him to be your rock, actually allowing Him to be your salvation. Because, like I said, He's not going to give you what you want. You know, you might want $1 million, but He only might give you 10, because that's all you might need at that point in time. So just look at it from that standpoint. The last thing you ever want to do is, the last couple of things, 2 points that you ever want to do is take God for granted. And the other thing that you never want to do is ask why. Because as I heard from someone, I forget what their name is, but as I heard from someone, why means a couple of things, and one of those things is being who helped you, and that's being God. Because God's always going to help you, like I said, when you need it. So just pay attention to pay attention to actually what you need in life and not what you want. You always got to put your needs above your wants. Obviously, you need basic things like water, you need food, you need shelter, and He's always going to provide those things. And you just have to be more grateful for what you have and not what you don't have. There's a lot of people out there, a majority of people out there who are not grateful for what they have in life. And you really got to be more grateful for what you have in life. Um, Going back to verse 5 of chapter 62, saying, "My soul wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from Him." Meaning, your soul, your spirit has never, because people think they have power over it. You don't. Your soul and your spirit has never truly belonged to you. It's always been in God's hands. You have free will, but free will is only to a certain extent. It's only to a certain limitation. So when you're speaking of your soul and what you do with it, God plays a heavy part in that. He plays a very heavy part in that. And that being said, it's always belonged to God, so no one else can have access to that. One of the best quotes that I ever heard in my life was that the devil can only hear what you say, but the devil can only hear what you say, but he can't hear what you think. Only God can hear what you think. So that being said, when you're praying, and not just praying, when you're speaking of anything, words are very, very powerful. So when you speak of anything in your life, especially out loud, it's different when you're texting it or thinking it and or writing it, stuff like that. When you're actually, excuse me, when you're actually speaking it out loud, that matters a lot. So that matters a lot when you're actually speaking something out loud. You know, if I'm waking up every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and telling myself that I'm not enough and I would never be enough and so on and so forth, it's not, your life's not going to get better. God's not going to bless someone who does that. You waking up on a constant day basis and cursing yourself, because that's what you're doing. That's how powerful words are. Is you waking up on an everyday basis and just cursing yourself, like I said, telling yourself that you're not enough, you're never going to be enough, you're never going to be able to take a trip to your favorite city, you're never going to be able to visit the family members you want to visit, you're never going to have this time off of work, and certain stuff like that. It's well, like who would, I know I wouldn't bless nobody like that. If you waking up every day and you just cursing yourself, well, I wouldn't bless nobody like that. So why would you expect the all being to? And most people excuse, well, you say He loves me so much. He does love you, but that's not a reason for a blessing. Um, it's like your parents in a it's like your parents on a day-to-day basis. Why would they bless you and you go every day and all day saying all of this different stuff about yourself? You know what I mean? Um, but if you're waking up every day and you're like, oh, I'm better than I was yesterday, and um, I'm better than I was yesterday, and I feel better than I did yesterday, and actually setting goals for yourself and going to achieve those goals and so on and so forth, you can't fail then. And that's the people that He bless. The people saying, oh yeah, I'm better than I was yesterday, and this is what I'm gonna do this week. And you actually going to do those things of that nature, right? And that's how you'll That's how you get access to your blessings. That's how you get a deeper access to your faith. That's how you get a stronger um, message from God on what to do in your day to day life. Because at the end of the day, God does have a plan. It's just your choice to follow it or not. A lot of people don't follow God's plan. They try to square away from God's plan and be like, well, I want to do this and well, I want to do this. And it's not about what you want to do. It's about what you need to do in your day-to-day life. Because at the end of the day, everyone has a purpose, including you. You know, including the next person, the person next to you, including your friend, your brother, your sister, uncle, etc. Everyone has a purpose, and your purpose is not going to be the same as other people's purpose. You can't compare yourself to people. The only person you can compare yourself to is your past self, and all you have to strive to do is be better than your past self, right? And it's not that hard. You know what I mean? So if yesterday, as simple as if yesterday you drank 1 cup of water, today you can drink 2 cups of water. You know, it's that simple. You're better than your past self already because you're just doing more. You have to just do more on a day-to-day basis. You feel me? Never, never tell yourself you did enough because you've never done enough. There's always more you can do with your life, especially for the younger crowd. You know, I know a lot of people just graduate. I know they're graduating pretty soon. I'm pretty sure all graduations across the United States at least ends around mid-June or before then. So I'm doing good, Rod. Um, I know all graduations end around then. So it's just telling yourself, you know, what did you do throughout your final senior year, and what can you do to be better next year? You know what I mean? Nah, I'm on the phone with you. You don't have to say hello.
I didn't wanna. No, I was agreeing with you.
um, and stuff like that. You know, what can I do to be better? What can I use that I learned in school to better my life? And for the people that are that graduated last year or graduated 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and you're 21, 22, you know, all the way up to 25 now. You're still very young. You still have a life to live. You know, I know right now you probably want to party and enjoy life and take trips and you want to travel and all that stuff, but none of that stuff should just ever take away from taking 5 minutes out your day to, you know, to just open a Bible and, you know, reading a verse or two and, you know, getting your daily word of message. You know what I mean? Um, you know, doing that. So going down and going back to the Bible. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Like, this isn't my Bible. This is my brother's Bible. Thank God he had one in his room. So a lot of my notes I don't have, cause I don't. Let me see if I wrote them down in my little journal here. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can. Okay, I did write something here. Okay, Revelations chapter 21, verse 7. Revelations chapter 21, verse 7. If you have your Bible out, go to that. If you don't have it out, it's fine. I'm going to read it anyways. I'm just going to give everybody a little time, whoever in the chat. Just gonna give a little time to anyone in the chat to go to it. We're gonna wait just a couple of minutes.
You said Revelation
21 verse 7. Actually, verse 6. We're going to go up to verse 6. I got 7 in my notes, but we're going to read 6 and 7 and 8. We're going to read 6 through 8 in the Revelations. Revelations chapter 21, verse 6 through 8. All right. As it is written, as it is written, John said, because this is said by John in Revelations. John said, and he said unto me, it is done. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idlers, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Woo! So, obviously, I need to stop saying obviously. That comes off so rude. In verse 6 of chapter 21, he's saying, I am the beginning and the end. And we know what that means. As he was the beginning of your life, and he's going to be the end of your life. Little side note. I wanna ask y'all, and y'all might not know, and that's okay to know. That's okay to not know. A lot of people do not know how to pronounce God's name. And I love teaching people how to pronounce God's name, because they get so amazed and be like, are you serious? And I'll be like, completely serious. I forgot where it says it in the Bible, but it does mention it in the Holy Bible how to pronounce his name, and most people forget. It is not pronounced God. It is not pronounced Yahweh. All that stuff. We're gonna do a session here real quick, and I'm gonna teach you how to pronounce it. So the first part of his name. Well, I'm gonna teach you how to do this, right? So first, just breathe in. Then second, breathe out. It's that simple. And
you better come on here.
And that's how you pronounce God's name. It's literally mentioned in the Bible. Like I said, I forgot where it's at. If I find it one of these days, I'll make a little YouTube short and I'll tell you where it's at. Or I'll probably say it on another live stream the next time we do a Bible study. But that's how you pronounce God's name. It's literally just you breathing in and breathing out. And he said that in the Bible because he's saying that, literally how I just said in verse 6, I am your beginning and I'm your end. I am your first breath and I am your last. I will be there during your first steps and I'll be there during your last steps. I'll be there when you open your eyes and I'm there when you close them, etc. and so on and forth. You feel me? God's always going to be there. Always. From the beginning of time to the end of time, he's always going to be there. So you just have to look for him, because he's always looking for you. He's always looking to love you and be there for you and give you word and give you life. Because every day that you wake up, he gives you life. And every day that you go to sleep, he takes that away for a temporary time. And that next day, he wakes you up again. So on and so forth. Because you never know when you're not going to wake up. So why not be blessed on the fact that you woke up? You know what I mean? There's people out there who struggle with their life on a day-to-day basis. I have a pimple. Oh my God. Let's not worry about it. There's people who struggle with their life on a day-to-day basis, and a lot of people who want to take their life. I'm not afraid to admit it. I used to be one of those people back when I was younger. I'm 21 years of age. When I was 11, 12, 13, all the way up until I was 16, 17, I wanted to take my life. Um, I I went through it multiple times, went through multiple attempts at wanting to take my life, and thank God I got saved every time by people close to me in my life. Um, and so on and so forth. Thank God that they saved me because now I'm here and I'm able to do stuff like this, able to do Bible studies online, able to talk on the phone and do Bible studies. And I've done it in the past. I actually did people come to my house and we do Bible studies in person. And, we all sit in a little group. Some people sitting on my bed, some people sitting on the floor, grabbing chairs, etc., to do Bible studies. So it's what I do. I like preaching. I like spreading the word. Um, but like I said, he showed me the beginning and I've saw the end. You feel me? I've been to my lowest point and I've also been to my highest point. And right now I'm just really at a median in life. But I know what that feels like to want to take your own life. And um, the thing I want to say the most is just don't. Keep moving because you, like I said, you're some people didn't wake up today, but you got chose and you got blessed to actually wake up today. So why not use that blessing to your fullest extent? What's up, Ron? I see you. Why not use that blessing to your fullest extent? And going on to verse 7, where he said, "He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he will be my son." That's not just saying, welcome back, Ron. That's not just saying, people look at it and they're like, especially females. A lot of females and a lot of women look at it and they're like, what are you, is he just talking to man? No, he's not just, I mean, that's exactly what he's doing. He's talking, there's a difference between man and men. I'm men. You see what I'm saying? But women and men are both a part of man. You see what I'm saying? Because if you read the Bible in the beginning, if you actually read your Bible in the beginning, if you haven't read the Bible, go read it. In the beginning, woman came from man's rib. So you are a part of man. So when he speaks, all right, I'm gonna wish you away at 11, Ron. You have a good night. But when he speaks of son, he's not just speaking to men. He's speaking to women and men because at the end of the day, you are a part of some men out there. You are their rib. So I feel me. You just got to find the rest of your body, and that's the way I believe. It's supposed to be women and men. And the other beliefs you could believe any way you believe, but that's the way I believe. I'm not here to argue about it. I'm not here to discuss it. That's just the way I believe. No, nothing's ever going to change that belief. I just say be happy. So, but yeah, he saying in verse 7, he that overcometh shall inherit all things. And I mean, he was talking about the world. In the beginning, he gave this world to man. So you feel me? We've named every creature on this earth. I mean, we've captured every creature. We're at the pinnacle of all on this earth, and everything. You feel me? The only thing that's above us is God, and everything else is below us. So why not use it to our full extent how He wanted us to? You know what I mean? So it's just about overcoming everything that's going on in your life. Because if you know at the end of the day, there's nothing bigger than God, why are you treating things as such? You see what I'm saying? So stop treating things as such, and you'll feel happier within yourself, and you'll feel happier about life on a day-to-day basis because people treat their problems that they have going on bigger than God. And they ask, well, God isn't doing this, and well, God isn't doing that. You're not letting them. You're not letting him bless you because you keep complaining about not being blessed. Instead of just saying, you know what, I'm grateful for what I have, and anything that shall come to me, I shall also be grateful for that. That's how you have to live your life on a day-to-day basis. Treat everything as either a blessings or a lesson. If you know what you did didn't go right for you, that was a lesson for you. And if you know it did go right and it's continuing to go right, that's a blessing. There's no such thing as mistakes or regrets. It's only blessings and lessons. That's it. Don't regret anything and they'll be like, oh, that was a mistake. No, it was just a lesson. Learn from it. And going down to verse 8, but the fearful and unbelieving Then he named everything that a man can be, and shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And people are gonna look at that and be like, "What is he?" I do not have a pencil. Pencil. I do not have a pencil. I am so unprepared tonight, but it's okay. I'm like, what is he talking about? The second death. You experience your first when your spirit detaches from this shell, because what you're in right now is a shell. Your spirit's different. Your spirit controls all this. It allows you to move. It's not your brain that does this. That's all you have a conscience. That's your spirit. It allows you to move. It allows you to talk. It allows you to see and all that other stuff. Um, your first death is to detach from the shell. Then your second is when God officially detaches from you, when He detaches from your spirit, because you know what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and He sees it all. He sees it all. So you know what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Let's stop doing that buffoonery, and start actually worshiping and doing right by one another. He put most of these people here for, he put everybody here for one reason: to be grateful and to multiply. That's what he said in the beginning. Be grateful and multiply. Anything else outside of that, you're doing for your own benefit and gain. So just be grateful for what you have and multiply. I'm not saying men out here with 10, 11, 12 kids, there's a limit. There is a limit. Okay? He said multiply. He said don't. He didn't say fill up the whole earth with your seed. Okay. Then abandon them kids. We're gonna get into that another day. But we're gonna get into that another day. We're gonna talk about that today. But
You hitting that rock, huh?
we're gonna get into that another day, because that's a whole different conversation about some of these dads out here, because they aren't fathers, they're dads, and there is a difference between a dad and a father. Okay. Okay.
Amazing.
A major difference. If you don't know that difference, like I said, we're gonna get into that another day. But going back to this Bible, yeah, you should experience your second death. But that's what that means. It's when God officially detaches from you and you burneth in that lake. And you don't want to be in that lake, so let's do right about one another. Let's not do bad towards one another. Let's just be grateful for what we have. Because you could do good by people, but never be grateful for what you have, and you still burning from that lake. You like, but I did good by people my whole life, but you was never grateful for what you had. You see what I'm saying? So just be grateful. And now we're gonna go back. We're gonna rewind. We're gonna dive into. We're gonna dive into 3 more verses. And back, we're gonna go back to Psalms chapter 18, going to verse 1. We're gonna dive into 3 more verses, and we're gonna end it off. That's gonna be Lucy's Bible study for the night. Then I'm gonna still stay live for a little bit for any questions that anybody got about anything that I spoke about tonight. So let's go back. And thank you everybody for tuning in. I peaked at 25 viewers tonight, and I love seeing that I peaked at 25 viewers during a Bible study of all things. So I love seeing that. God bless, God bless, God bless. But I'm gonna let everybody get to Psalms chapter 18 at the very beginning. We're gonna wait a couple of seconds. Then we're gonna do it.
This is nobody but the devil. Hold on.
We're gonna do a Q&A. If you can't get to it, that is fine. I'm gonna read it off anyways. All right. This is another Psalm of David. And he said, I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my delivery. My God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler, the horn of my salvation, and my high tower. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised, so I shall be saved from mine enemies. That's all we're going to read of that. And diving into that, Ron, I wish you a good night if you're still in here because it's approaching 11 o'clock. Now we'll dive into that. He started it off with saying, I will love you, O Lord, my strength, my salvation. Obviously, I'm saying obviously again, that's so rude. As we said earlier, about God being your strength and your salvation and your rock, we're just going to go over that again. But moving on to your deliverer, he delivers you from all types of evil on a day-to-day basis. You ever be going through something, or someone approaches you with some rude, negative energy, and you're like, never buying that. Then another person comes out of nowhere and they're like, you know what, you don't talk to them that way. That's nothing but God, nothing but Jesus. Like, hey, you don't approach my child that way and disrespect them in that type of fashion. We're not about to go for that. Okay? Oh, that's not but God. That's what God does for you on a day-to-day basis, because he always doesn't come to you in your ear. He always doesn't come to you in the Bible. He comes to you through other men, and he saves you that way. He sends his angels through other men. So, and that's how he blesses you on a day-to-day basis. So you gotta. That's why I said you gotta really figure out in your life, because that principle that I said earlier also involves to the people in your life on who's a lesson and who's a blessing. Because you have people in your life who are lessons and they're just meant to be let go. Let them go. Then there's people in your life who are blessings and they continue to bless you on a day-to-day basis. And you could let go of anybody. When I say, let me sit up for this one. When I say anybody, I mean anybody. It could be your parent. It could be your sibling. It could be the person you've been in love with for the last 10 years of your life. Let them go. It just might be a lesson to you. If nothing but negative energy keeps coming from the relationship you have with that person, they are just a lesson that you're supposed to learn from. They are not a blessing. Stop telling yourself that it's going to get better. It's not. It's not going to get better. Let that person go. Okay? That is a lesson that you shall learn from and never experience again, because you learned from it. Let that person go. They are not a blessing to you. Then, in verse 3, saying, I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised, so I be saved from my enemies. Your enemies are not just referring to people. They're referring to anything. Drinking could be your enemy. Smoking could be your enemy. Popping pills could be your enemy. The job you doing right now could be your enemy. You could have another job lined up for you, and you just can't depart from the job you're doing because you've been doing it for so long, and you're like, oh, I have to just do this. This is the only way I can make money. This is how my life is meant to go. No, depart from it. Let it go. God has other blessings lined up for you. You just have to separate from the things you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Let him take you from your enemies. And with that being said, that's my Bible study. So, like I said, I'm in the mood for any questions. So, any questions that anybody got, you can comment them below and let me know. It could be about the Bible study, about the verses that I went over, or it could be about something going on in your day-to-day life and you just want advice about it. Just let me know. I'm in the mood for it, so just tune in with me while I go over a little of these notes. No, you still on the phone. You can talk too. I said you can talk for any questions you got.
I don't know if I got you. Because at this point, you did your biggest. You did your biggest.
I said I wasn't gonna dive into it, but I'm gonna dive into it anyways for
Please.
any women that are in this chat about um, the men out here. Okay. Now, if you listen to my live stream, turn it down for a little bit for me.
Oh,
Um, these men out here and women. We're gonna speak on men and women real quick for a brief second. Then I'm gonna end this live stream. We're not gonna let this be no more than an hour. We have 41 minutes right now. Excuse me. Starting off with the men. Men are very, 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 very manipulative, misguiding, and nothing but followers. There is very little men out here who are true leaders and want to lead you to help you have a better life. There's not a lot of men out here. Me growing and being 21 around the ages of 18, 19, nothing but like 2, 3 years ago, I was like that. I was not a leader. Um, I was not trying to take care of those around me. I was not trying to do anything of the sort. I was not trying to be a man of God. You know, I talked about God. I tried to reach out to God, but excuse me. But I wasn't doing what females or the younger crowd likes today, my big one. So I wasn't trying to do that at all. I really wasn't being a leader. I really wasn't pushing the pace. And I was manipulative. I really was. So I was manipulative. I was a gaslighter, and I didn't take accountability for a lot of things that I did on a day-to-day basis. Not just to the partner that I had at the time, but to the people I had in my life at the time. I really never took accountability for the things that I did, and that's how a lot of men are today. They don't take accountability, and they don't like saying. A lot of men in today's age don't like admitting that they're wrong. And it's not just today's age, it's older men also. Older men in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, they still to this day don't like admitting that they're wrong and taking accountability for what they have done. And speaking on that, a lot of that passes down to children, unfortunately, with these men out here having um, multiple kids. Um, if you're not ready, because men, God put you here to sacrifice. Okay, you're not here to nurture. You're not here to care. Um, you are not here to love in a certain aspect. You're here to sacrifice. You're here to build. You're here to lead. And to lead and to build, you have to sacrifice. If you're not ready to do that, you shouldn't be ready to sit down and have kids, especially multiple kids with multiple women at that. Like, with that being said, there's nothing wrong with having kids with multiple women. You're not meant to live your life. If some people just aren't meant to live their life with certain people, and y'all are just meant to have a kid together, and that's fine. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Um, but just going around having kids and then not claiming those kids and being a deadbeat, there's something completely wrong with that, and you would probably never receive blessings from God, unfortunately. And I hope you turn your life around and He can bless you. But being a messenger of God, it's certain things like that. You just have to know He will not bless you because you're doing stuff like that in the day-to-day life. So, like, again, just look up and realize what you're doing and stop doing it. Okay? And speaking towards women, do not take no offense to this, but women can also be the same way that men are, being manipulative and misguiding and trying to be a leader. It is not your job to be a leader. It is your job to follow. You came at the end of the day, if you believe in God and you believe in Jesus, you have to believe in that Bible. And in that Bible, it tells you came from man's rib. So why are you trying to be the core of it when you're not the core? You're just a part of it. Find a man and follow him. Let him lead. Don't let him lead you to doom. There's nothing wrong with correcting a man in your life. Yeah, the person you see as your leader. And just because you see him as your leader does not mean you're meant to be with that person. He could just be a person at that point in time who's meant to guide you. So let him guide you. Okay? Let him guide you. And be more submissive. There's so much women out here who just strive for independency when God didn't put you here to be independent. He put you here to be dependent. There's nothing wrong with depending on somebody as a woman. That's what you're meant to do. You're meant to sit here and care and nurture and love. That's what he put you here to do, is to have kids and be caring and nurturing and to be taken care of, to be dependent. So do that. You know what I mean? And that's not saying go out here and find a man and leech off a man. It's saying actually doing your due diligence as a woman, you know. And unfortunately, it may come off disrespectful to a lot of women these days, especially to a lot of young women these days, because the message just gets put out here so wrong. But you know, it's you know, you're supposed to be out here, you know, cooking and cleaning and caring and nurturing and taking care of the kids at home, and your man's supposed to be at work getting these bills paid and sacrificing and building so y'all all can have a better life. You know, that's the jobs that you're meant to have. Go read your Bible and go see what it means to be a woman and go see what it means to be a man. If you actually want your man to be a king, you have to be a queen. And if you want your woman to be a queen, you have to be a king, and you have to treat yourself as such. Men, be more dependent. You should not be depending on no woman at all. You should be more independent and be dependent on yourself. Okay? You're only supposed to depend on your woman and your partner or the woman in your life for nurture, support, and love. Nothing else. You shouldn't be depending on no woman for financial stability. You shouldn't be depending on no woman for you to follow and for her to lead you. You shouldn't be dependent on no woman for any other sorts like that, because at the end of the day, it's not going to turn out for you. Okay? And woman out there, there's nothing wrong with you having a job or anything of the sort. I'm never going to tell you not to work. If you want to work, you can do that. But at the end of the day, if you're my partner, I really don't care whether you work or not. I'm still going to pay all the bills. You could just save your money or spend it on yourself. I don't care. That's how I live, though. Not every man sees their way. They should, but that's how I live. So that's my take on men and women. That's just a little bit of it. I could dive into it forever, but that's my take on it for right now, is that people are not following their roles as they're supposed to be. Because believe it or not, you do have a role in life, and you have to follow it, or you're not going to be blessed. Okay? You're not going to be blessed. You may think, oh, I have all the money in the world. I'm right where I need to be, and I'm happy. At the end of the day, when you lock your bedroom door and you lay in that bed, when you lock your bedroom door and you lay in that bed, you cry because you're sad and you're upset with life because you don't have that partner that you need in your life. Okay, so just look around you and see who actually, men and women, look around you and see who actually wants to be there for you, and let them be there for you. You know, stop running from a blessing, because a lot of people run from blessings and go towards people who just treat them like nothing. Why? Why are you letting yourself be used when you could let yourself be, cared for and actually loved? So That's my take on it. You know what I mean? But that's all I have to say tonight for this little 50 minutes of this Bible study. I hope everybody got what they. I hope everybody can at least look back at this and get a little bit of what they needed. You know, just a little bit. Take away a little bit of something from the day. Because I mean, I ain't spoke nothing but the truth. One thing I'm not gonna do on this channel is lie. So that's all I really got to say. And I hope. Oh, man, I couldn't crack my neck. I hope everybody have a good night. I hope everybody stay blessed, and I hope y'all keep your heads up. And before y'all hit that bed tonight, hop on them knees and pray. Okay? I love y'all. It's 811 Lucy, and I'm out of here.